Welcome back to the Coins Information HD channel, to another deep dive episode on the fascinating world of British coinage. Today we're exploring one of the most commonly discussed yet often misunderstood coins in the United Kingdom, the 1987 Queen Elizabeth II 2 pence coin, also known simply as the 2p. While at first glance it may seem like an ordinary piece of pocket change, this coin holds a rich story connected to the history of the Royal Mint, the legacy of Queen Elizabeth II, and the evolution of modern British currency. In this video, we'll uncover its background, design details, production history, rarity, collector interest, and its true market value in 2025. So grab your magnifying glass, and let's get started. To truly appreciate the 1987 2p, we need to travel back to 1971, the year when the United Kingdom officially transitioned to a decimal currency system. This monumental event, known as decimalisation, transformed the traditional pounds, shillings, and pence system into the modern decimal system we use today. As part of that change, several new coins were introduced, including the 1 penny and 2 pence denominations. The 2 pence coin was designed to be bronze, larger than the penny, and to serve as one of the key coins in everyday commerce. The original reverse design featured the badge of the Prince of Wales, a plume of 3 ostrich feathers encircled by a coronet and bearing a ribbon with the motto, Ich diene, which translates from German as, I serve. This iconic symbol was chosen to represent a sense of unity and royal tradition within the United Kingdom. From 1971 until the early 1980s, the reverse design included the inscription, New Pence, which was intended to distinguish the decimal coins from the old pre-decimal currency. However, starting in 1982, the Royal Mint decided to remove the word new and replace it with the standard denomination 2 pence. That change officially marked the coin as part of the established decimal system. By the time 1987 came around, the 2p coin had already become an integral part of everyday life in Britain, small change that carried a big historical legacy. The 1987 2 pence coin features the third definitive portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by the talented sculptor Raphael David Maklauf. This portrait was introduced in 1985 and used on all British coins until 1997. Maklauf's portrayal shows the Queen facing right, wearing the George IV state diadem, a crown encrusted with diamonds and pearls, and the image captures a sense of dignity and maturity that reflected her long reign. Around the portrait appears the Latin inscription, Elizabeth II DG Reg FD, which stands for, Elizabeth II, by the grace of God, Queen, Defender of the Faith. On the reverse side, the coin continues with the traditional Prince of Wales feathers design, along with the denomination, 2 pence, and the value numeral, 2, at the bottom. The coin's composition in 1987 remained the same as in earlier years, made of bronze, consisting of 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, and 0.5% tin. It weighs 7.12 grams and has a diameter of 25.91 millimeters. In the hand, it feels solid, with a reddish-brown metallic tone that can darken over time as it oxidizes. One interesting point is that the 1987 2 pence coin, like most British circulation coins, has no visible mint mark. All circulation coins of this period were produced at the Royal Mint in Llantrisant, Wales. Therefore, when collectors refer to a no mint mark 1987 2p, it is not an error or rare feature, it simply reflects the standard practice of British coinage production during that time. The Royal Mint produced a very large quantity of 2 pence coins in 1987 to meet the country's circulation needs. Over 200 million pieces were struck, specifically around 218 million, which means this coin was widely available and used heavily in everyday transactions. The majority of these coins were released for general circulation, although a smaller number were also included in uncirculated mint sets and proof sets produced for collectors. These presentation pieces were struck to a much higher standard, with mirror-like surfaces and sharper details. Because of the enormous mintage, the 1987 2p is not considered a rare circulation coin. However, that doesn't mean it lacks collector value entirely. Its worth depends heavily on condition, presentation, and sometimes unusual striking features. There's often confusion online about whether the 1987 2 pence coin is rare or valuable. Some listings and social media posts claim that it's worth hundreds or even thousands of pounds, which can lead to a lot of misunderstanding. In reality, the regular 1987 2-pence coin is one of the most common in the decimal series. Its rarity is classified as common, meaning it's easy to find in circulation or in mixed coin lots. So why do people believe it's rare? The confusion usually comes from stories about the famous 1983 new pence error coin, where a small number of 2-pence coins were mistakenly struck with the old new pence inscription after the change to 2-pence. Those genuine 1983 error coins can sell for hundreds or even thousands of pounds because they are true minting errors with documented rarity. The 1987 coin, however, never had a similar production error of that kind. It always carried the correct 2-pence wording. Therefore, if you find a 1987 2p with no mint mark and normal features, it's a perfectly standard issue coin. Now let's talk about value, something every collector and casual finder wants to know. The worth of a 1987 2-pence coin depends primarily on its condition and presentation. Circulated condition: the majority of these coins are heavily circulated. They've been through decades of handling, pocket wear, and oxidation. In such condition, the coin's value is generally its face value, 2-pence. Collectors already have plenty of examples in this grade, so there's no real premium. Extremely fine condition, coins that have only light wear and still retain most of their original detail might fetch a small premium, perhaps around 10 to 20 pence. Uncirculated condition, coins that have never been used and still shine with their original mint luster can be more desirable. An uncirculated example could sell for around 1 to 3 pounds depending on appeal, proof or mint set coins. Coins taken from official Royal Mint sets are the highest quality examples, with mirror-like fields and frosted details. These may sell for several pounds individually, especially if still sealed in their original packaging or case. Error coins, very occasionally, minting errors do appear, perhaps a weak strike, double strike, or planchet flaw. If you were to find a genuine and dramatic mint error on a 1987 2-pence, it could be worth anywhere from £10 to several hundred, depending on the type of error and collector demand. However, these are the exception rather than the rule.